All right, man. Y'all see the title. We ain't doing no plan. We going straight in.
That breaking news is still unfolding tonight in Fairfield. One person is dead, 3 others injured after a shooting that broke out at the Fairfield High School campus. This was just after a graduation ceremony for Sem Yeto High School. Now, that's a continuation high school that shares the campus there. At last check, police were still shooting for the shooter or the shooters. Within the past hour, Live Copter 3 captured this. Officers combing for evidence in the parking lot where that shooting took place. You can see them walking in line with their flashlights looking for any sign of evidence of the carnage there.
Live Copter 3 also captured this graduation balloons left in the car there in the parking lot. You will also notice a number of evidence markers. There were 2 cars we saw there with evidence markers, and it looked like bullet holes in the windshields. We should also mention they have a lot of support there tonight, including the ATF, alcohol, tobacco, and firearms crews on the scene helping them process evidence.
Let's go to some live pictures from Live Copter 3, and you can see the evidence tape is still up. The investigation continues. Here's what we know right now. Again, the graduation was for Sem Yeto High School. That is a continuation alternative school that shares a campus there with Fairfield High School. Police say the shooting happened in the parking lot right after the graduation ceremony.
What is a continuation school? I have to look that up. I don't know what a high school continuation school is.
Us that the attack again happening there after they had wound things down with the ceremony graduating some 500 plus students tonight. Again, we know 4 people were shot, 1 was killed, and again right now
like junior college
no one's been arrested, and police have not released any description yet of the suspects.
We want to give you a live look in Fairfield. We are standing by right now waiting for an update from Fairfield Police. It looks like a reporter going live there, but still waiting for information and someone to step up to the podium.
Yeah, we understood that they were going to be starting around 11 o'clock. Obviously, that has not happened as of yet. We're monitoring this, and until then, we want to bring you in on our live coverage right now.
Man, I ain't even gonna lie, bro. It's like, it's so many. It's just so much shit going on these days, bro. It's like, it almost feel like we definitely desensitized to things, like, to an extent. Maybe some of us aren't, but it's like, bro, it almost don't even feel real at this point. Like, even me sitting here reacting to this, it doesn't feel like, like someone was killed, like a high school was shot up, bro. Like, I don't know, this shit crazy. I remember, show my age a little bit. I remember like the Columbine shooting, and I don't even know if I was old enough to like be conscious of it, but I just remember, like hearing about it and how people would talk about it, even in songs and stuff, and just like it was such a big thing. It's like my heart go out to everyone affected, and this same story is probably gonna be like old next week. It's crazy, bro.
To Live Copter 3 over the scene, showing you what's happening there. And Andres Valle is getting some reaction with witnesses. Peyton Headley on the ground there talking to Fairfield Police. We're starting with Esteban Reynoso, who's at Fairfield High School. Esteban, what's happening?
Guys, the crime scene has kind of now dwindled down a little bit. It was right up to Atlantic Avenue, but now here in front of the school, right in front of that parking lot, it is now opened up. Now there is just this one singular crime scene tape that has been put up, but this is as close as we can get now to that crime scene. You see further off in the distance there are a little bit of some crime scene tape around some of the vehicles that have been at the epicenter of where this shooting happened. We've spoken to multiple witnesses here who tell us that they were shocked, they're traumatized by this, but as police continue to investigate, you can see still a lot of movement. Even up to almost 4 hours now since this shooting happened, they continue to bring in more of these resources, collect as much evidence as possible, and now it seems like people who were near that car, near that epicenter, they're now able to go in, grab their cars, and exit here. Police have determined that they are safe to do so, but also that it doesn't hinder on their investigation either. So continuing out here, Fairfield Police has told us, and now this road is completely open right in front of the high school, but they remain here inside of the parking lot where this investigation will continue. Again, they're trying to find out exactly how this happened, piece together the evidence that they gather here, as well as potentially at other spots around the city. I did speak with a lot of witnesses who say that they saw some police pull over someone who they believe was a part of this, but we are working again to get that confirmed from Fairfield Police. But still here in the community, people are feeling it a little bit. Things have calmed down for the night, but still a really scary scene that people are glad is hopefully coming to a close really soon. For now, I'll send it back to you guys.
All right, Esteban, thank you. Of course, what's also very worrisome is the suspect or suspects are still out there.
Yeah, as of 9 o'clock. So, you know, based on what Esteban was reporting, witnesses say maybe someone was pulled over and maybe taken into custody. We are waiting to hear from police tonight in Fairfield. I think we can give you a...
Okay, we back. So this happened yesterday. We caught this story. It hasn't been a full 24 hours, but we caught it. I guess it happened yesterday. And at the time that I'm making this video on, what's today? Today's Thursday. Thursday the 4th. The shooter or shooters still have not been caught.
This is an officer who briefed reporters earlier. Let's listen in.
My name is Michelle Bellier, and I'm a police officer with the city of Fairfield. I'm here to provide an update.
My bad, shit.
Tonight on the incident at Fairfield High School. The information I can provide is I can confirm there were 3 victims with gunshot wounds, ages 11, 20, and 25. And there was 1 additional victim, an 18-year-old, who did succumb to their injuries sustained during this incident. We don't have any information that there's any ongoing threat to the community at this time. This is still a very active incident, and due to that, this is a very active investigation. We're not going to be answering any other questions tonight, okay? We should have an updated release mid-morning tomorrow as we have information to provide. Thank you.
11, 20, and 25 for those 3
okay,
that
so
were injured.
Really interesting in
Let's see if she answers another question just really quickly.
So, officer, was there any new information you could release? Can you step up to the mic?
Sure. As I stated, the information we're releasing is there were 3 victims that sustained gunshot wounds, and they are currently being treated for their injuries. Their ages are 11, 20, and 25, and an 18-year-old did succumb to the injuries sustained during this incident.
What kind of?
We don't have any other information to provide right now. Thank you.
Any of them, like the relatives of this?
I have no further information. Thank you guys for your time.
All right, that's Michelle Bellier with Fairfield Police, and a very, very short statement from her telling us some new information, albeit very limited. 3 shot, 11, 20, and 25 years old. 18-year-old shot and killed. And then the curious statement that there's no ongoing threat to the community.
So hopefully that is something that can ease some of the fears in that community tonight. So we don't know the details, but clearly they have some information about the person responsible. They would not be issuing a statement like that. Hopefully in mid-morning we'll find out more information. I think from the witnesses that we have heard from, we can fill in maybe a little bit of information about these victims, because the 11-year-old, that would match the description that we've now heard from 2 or 3 different witnesses of a girl who was shot in the arm and appeared to be, you know, conscious and talking and that when she was taken to the hospital. So I think that may be filling in the gaps on that from multiple witnesses. And the 18-year-old who was killed, that might also fall in line with what we heard from one of the witnesses, a student who said he recognized that victim as someone he had gone to school with, recognized him from the hallways.
Okay.
So that would match that age range.
And again, the other two victims who were shot and injured, 20 and 25. So no names. We don't know the genders of the victims yet officially. So still a lot to put together here in this shooting that has just really shaken a community that apparently has gotten, unfortunately, used to these shootings. One of the victims, or I should say one of the neighbors of the high school there, said that this was the third shooting that they think that they remember happening at this campus this year alone.
In the last 3 years, I think. There was one earlier this year, and yeah, they're just really just...
Bruh. And it's like, bro, I gotta be careful with what I say, how I say it, especially not knowing certain things. Like, that's crazy, bro. The third shooting this year.
Had it with the violence, and you can't blame them. Yeah. Let's check in with Peyton Headley now, who has been covering the police response and has been there for the police briefings tonight. That was a very short briefing, Peyton.
Yeah, a very short briefing with no questions, but we did learn some new information in that briefing, and it's the ages of the victims. An 11-year-old, a 20-year-old, and a 25-year-old were shot. An 18-year-old died. We tried to ask if that 18-year-old was a student at the high school. She wasn't able to clarify that, but when you hear an 11-year-old shot at a ceremony like this, they were likely there supporting a friend, an older sibling, celebrating their movement from high school into whatever's next for them, and it ends in gunfire. So really devastating news to hear from that. She said there's no reason to believe that there is any threat to the public, but she wasn't able to clarify any information about a suspect in this case. So it's not clear right now who this person is that opened fire at this graduation ceremony. So of course that manhunt is underway. They are talking to witnesses, and they're looking to figure out who did this. But yeah, a very short briefing, one with new information tonight. But yeah, they talked to us at 9. They gave us that preliminary information that 4 people were shot. One of those people died. They're still looking for a suspect. The new information that we learned just within the last 5 minutes of here is the ages. And again, 11, 20, 25, and 18. So all very young people who are at this graduation ceremony. They're there to celebrate. They're there to move on to the next stage of their life. And it ends up with gunfire. The whole high school turning into a crime scene surrounded by police officers and deputies and fire first responders who are out there. So really tragic to learn the ages of the folks that were out there, young people, and that there's no, again, information on a suspect, but the good news is that there is no threat to the community right now. So that's the latest from this briefing here in Fairfield.
So Peyton, we wanted to ask you about that because we heard the same.
And y'all know it scared me too. I'm just sitting here like still thinking about how this is the third shooting this year alone at the same school. It's like, it scared me like the bandwagon effect. You know, it's like the more common, you know, these types of things happen, it's like bandwagon. You know, I think it gives people who are already mentally ill and have these types of dark thoughts, you know, I don't want to say encouragement, but just more maybe even motivation, right, to do it. It's just becoming more familiar. It's crazy, man. We live in a crazy time, like real tough.
Information that you did from that news conference that there was no ongoing threat to the community. We wondered if we could take that to mean that they had someone in custody and the manhunt was over, or why else would they say that there is no threat if a shooter was still out there? You're there, so we want to check with you. What was your understanding of what that meant?
That ain't what I got.
Yeah, that would have been a nice clarification to make had they taken questions at the end of the press conference. I think it can be interpreted in a number of different ways. It could be that, you know, there was something specifically at that high school that led them to that event, and they may have been looking for a certain person there, and that there is no threat. They're not going to random places. Or, of course, it could mean that they have a person of interest in custody and they have someone identified, and they have taken someone into custody that they're just not willing to share quite yet because they don't want to compromise any details of the investigation. So, you know, it's important to note here in investigations like this that oftentimes there's a lot of things that they know that they're not sharing with us quite yet, just because they want to make sure that they have every single detail locked down before they share that with the public. And looking at the briefing behind us, there were at least 11 cameras there from the Bay Area, from the Sacramento area. So they want to make sure that they have every single thing confirmed before they put that out there. So yeah, hopefully they have a suspect identified, they have someone in custody. But again, that wasn't something that we were able to clarify or really get a read on just by the way that she said it tonight.
All right. Well, when you have a mass shooting after a high school graduation, certainly there is so much concern in the community. It'd be nice to have specific information, and hopefully we will get that when they release more information tomorrow morning. Peyton, thank you. And we are hearing from more witnesses tonight.
Yeah, one person who was at that graduation says that afterwards he saw the shooting firsthand.
So he went to go to the person that takes pictures of the graduates, and then I was with his mom and dad and sister, and out of nowhere some dude just ran up. I didn't mind. I was just like, okay, he's maybe messing around. And then when I looked up, he had pointed the gun out and just started shooting.
So let's head now to Andres Valle, who's live in our newsroom. He's been hearing from others who witnessed the shooting.
Yeah, absolutely, guys. And of course, that update, very heartbreaking. But we spoke to a couple earlier tonight who are still shaken up by this shooting. Now, Lisa and Amanda Prieto live right next door to Fairfield High School, and they say they heard the gunshots right around 7:15 p.m. and saw multiple people running.
I would say one shooter. It was one gun. There wasn't any simultaneous other rounds going off. It was,
so it was one shooter.
It was rapid fire, but not automatic. I was just immediately terrified and thought, you know, these kids can't even graduate. We have a lot of fear. We love our home. And obviously with the state of the housing market, we can't afford to go elsewhere, but we spend a lot of time in our yard and our kids are always out here. So there's a great amount of fear associated with whether or not it's safe for us to be in our own backyard.
And now we also talked to 18-year-old Ryan Murphy. He says he was trying to find family members when he heard the gunfire, saying he was feet away from where it all happened.
I seen the glass shatter from the windshield of the car that got hit. And I'm just like, whoa. I stood frozen for a second. All I seen was some people start running past the car that was hit and hitting the deck, jumping behind the trunk, getting down.
Now, his brother, 17-year-old graduate Robert Dorsey, says he was trying to find him and the rest of his family. That's when he says he saw some of those victims who were hurt.
The last thing I saw was just him receiving CPR. And yeah, I just kind of wanted to get out of there, you know. I didn't witness all 4 people getting shot, but I did see a little girl getting carried out.
Oh, that's
and
crazy, bro.
I've heard from friends and just people that were there that you know, other people got hit and stuff.
Bro,
now, Robert says that one victim he saw looked like a classmate of his. And again, from what Peyton just told you guys and what we just heard from police, we know that an 18-year-old did die, an 11-year-old was shot, a 20-year-old was shot, and a 25-year-old shot. So again, from what that witness just told us, it, you know, tries to figure out, could have that been his classmate? Could have that been that little girl, that 11-year-old that he saw? But again, those are things we have to clarify ourselves in the newsroom. But for now, sending him back to you guys.
Yeah, just so traumatizing for all of those students and all
Right,
of those
that's what I'm
witnesses.
like,
Thank
bro,
you so much,
imagine.
Andres.
We're going to go back to video from Live Copter 3, and here's again a recap of what we know so far. 4 people shot, 1 person.
You know, and imagine, you know, something like this, something this tragic, being tied to, you know, just imagine something like this being tied to something that's supposed to be such an exciting day, you know, a celebratory day. You're graduating, you know, you close one chapter, you're ready to start the next chapter of your life. And, you know, you're gonna always remember this, right? The day I graduated is the day that shooting took place. So, man, it's crazy. Um, we live in a crazy time, man. And if you are having thoughts, all right, we back. But yeah, man, such a crazy time that we live in. And if anyone out there, man, if you're having thoughts, I don't want to sound like a commercial, but it's real though. If you're having thoughts of hurting yourself or others, like, you know, like, bro, tap in, like, you know, get some help, um, talk to someone, right? Um, so my heart goes out to everyone affected. Condolences to everyone affected. Fairfield, California. I believe that's where it's at. I don't know what's going on out there. I pray for y'all's whole city, and you know, I don't know what it's gonna take, man, for us to, um, just for things to change, man. And on that note, man, stay prayed up. You know, it's unfortunate to say this. Stay blicked up, and until the next one, man. I'm gonna keep y'all updated as more details come out on the situation. And I appreciate y'all rocking with me. If you stayed to the end, you're a winner. That's my little 2 cents. And I'll catch y'all on the next one. Peace.